Now, let's look at the final piece out of these five prospects. And this one is trust and anxiety. And this is a very interesting one on the internet. Let's think about this for a minute. You know, for those of us who work on the internet and have gotten quite used to filling out forms and purchasing things online, this may not seem like a very big deal. You know, I want to go buy Joe Blow's package. I go put my credit card info in. I hit submit. Boom, done. I don't even think about it. You know, we go visit a site. We enter our information, some credit card info, and bam, done. Okay. Well, you have to think, when you're trying to sell a product online, who are you trying to sell this thing to? I mean, what about the vast majority of internet users for whom there are grave concerns of identity theft or even just plain being ripped off? You know, and that is, trust me, that is the vast majority of people on the internet. You know, if you're selling a product that is geared towards internet marketers, yeah, you're probably okay. Although even still here, you're going to be dealing with it because you've got folks who have the money and are trying to move into internet marketing, and they want to try your product. They want to work with your product and see if that thing will help them get rolling. So trust and anxiety. This is, you know, trust is the trait of trusting, of believing in the honesty and reliability of others. Anxiety is a vague, unpleasant emotion that is experienced in anticipation of some, and it's usually ill-defined, misfortune. You know, these are two little factors that have to be in place properly for people to use your site. Now, in the earlier days of the internet, marketers first ran into the privacy issue on the internet. And this was, you know, longer ago. Smaller numbers of people were even buying at this point, and this is the way it was. This was generally dealt with by using some form of, and even then it wasn't called anti-spam, but it was an anti-spam statement. And these are generally good, but I'm going to point out for you in a moment here, it should be noted that simpler statements tend to work best. Okay, you know, this is one where you get to a site and under the opt-in form it says, you know, we don't like, who likes spam? We don't like spam. We know you don't either. That's why we will never email, rent, whatever your information to any third party whatsoever. You know, spammers suck. And then they have this little image, the spam zero tolerance policy, things like that. You know what? I can tell you now, and here's a little brief piece I'm going to give you in here. Research has shown that if you have an opt-in box and you want people to opt in, go with this left-hand option. Please do review our privacy policy. And privacy policy is a link. When you click it, the privacy policy opens in a window on the page. That's it. That's all you want. Okay? Now, the other statements seem like you're communicating with people. Nope. Go with this simple one. There's a little piece for you to use. Now, let's look at another element of trust and anxiety. This is borrowing from affiliated sources. Okay, now you think about it. One easy way to establish your trust online is to borrow the source from one that's already in place and established. Now, you know, brands like Home Depot and Amazon and many others are at the top of their game, both on and offline. You can't really grab a spot like theirs. Okay, but what you can do is let's work with something called social proof. Okay? Now, social proof gets into showing from users of a product that they love it. Okay? And we're going to talk about just one form of social proof. There are a variety of others, but what we're going to talk about here is just testimonials. Okay? Now, there are other pieces that you can bring into a site. We're just going to talk about testimonials for right now. You know, so when you think about what a testimonial does to a web page, the impact is pretty darn substantial. You know, and this is just a brief one from that was sent in on a product. Not a big deal, but again, very substantial. Now, the social proof from another person can have a golden touch to a web page. Okay, if you think about it, the greatest thing that a person can do for a web page is to give a totally unsolicited testimonial. Now, let's take that and multiply that by 10 to 15 product admirers. Okay, so suddenly you've got 10 to 15 testimonials on a page. Or how about some of these pages where you read through a bunch of the testimonials and there's a link that says, want to see more testimonials? Click here. You click that, it opens up a brand new page that could be excuse me. Well, I'm thinking it was Marlon Sanders used to do this. It'd open up a page that was like 10 pages long of just testimonial after testimonial after testimonial, just this field of huge things. Or how about then John Reese released Traffic Secrets. He put that product out, had it out for a short time, and then he said, okay, everyone who's got this, send me your testimonials. Tell me how this has worked for you. Next thing you know, when you get to that page, up at the top of it, it says proof in huge letters. And then down below it is this whole bank of audio and video testimonials of people who have used this product, and as people explaining what it's done for them. And I think I had one of those. I had one of those products on there. It's a great tool, and that helped him sell a ton of that product. Now, I'd like to touch base on one other trust issue that can have a truly incredible influence on a website. This is something that every website can and should have in place, but frankly most do not. And this is one of those little pieces that, quite frankly, does not have to cost you a whole heck of a lot, if anything, to have in place on your site, but you need to do it. Now, before we go any further, I don't know if you remembered earlier on, I mentioned the number of folks that still have issues using a website. Now, these are the folks that really want to believe in an online purchase, but are, quite frankly, they're scared. And you have to be able to address things for them. You have to do every little thing on your web page to help them feel comfortable moving through making a purchase with you. So this is one of those little things. And again, this is a very important piece of business that you've got to take care of, okay? So these folks are worried that the websites they're visiting just can't be trusted. So how does one address these concerns that these folks carry? Online trust icons, okay? This is too easy, too important to do. Here are a page with a number of different ones. The PayPal verified. All you have to do is use PayPal to sell stuff, and you get to use that. It doesn't even mean anything else about your website, yet it's showing it has this element of proof. The Scan Alert, HackerSafe, fantastic, especially now with the Scan Alert that they've bought this thing. A lot of power there. The BBB, and actually I've included this now that I think about it. I'm not sure they're still offering a BBB reliability program, but they may be. And then I love this center one, the valued member of Honesty Online. Fantastic program. Has a small monthly fee associated with it. Great program to be a part of. I know the guy who's done this. He's done just great things with his images, and you're starting to see this on websites all around the internet, and it's just going to keep going. So you see, these simple little changes can have some of the greatest impacts on most any site. The trust that they convey carries shoppers over the line, making the purchase a reality. And that is the key. You've got to carry them over the line. Now, there are other tactics that can be used as well, such as consumer ratings. Amazon has pretty much mastered that one. You go on their site, and any product you look at has got this, just this slew of first there's the editor's write-up on it, and then there's this slew of consumer ratings down below it. And you know what? I'm one of those people who, if I'm going to shop for something online, I'll go to Amazon. I look up a product, I read through the ratings, I find the one I want, and then I'll go buy it somewhere else. because you can usually get it for a little less. But again, it still gets me to that site, and there are times where I buy things from that site just because they're there. Referrals, security statements, these things all make a difference. And referrals can be it's personal referrals from people. The security statements, that's an interesting one even, and that can be, in addition to that little trust icon, is a statement on the site that states that this is SSL covered up to whatever bit rate. And in all honesty, I don't think that really means anything to people, but inside it does. So the key is identifying the ways you can make that small change in doing it. Now, the takeaway you need to get here is that there are a variety of very different factors that affect conversions. Okay? Each of them has an impact on their own and should be attended to. However, like any good marketing plan, you really need to take a step back and look at things from a holistic perspective. Each of them has an impact of their own. Okay? They also work together. So there's no way that you can move into your site and affect everything overnight. Okay? But you do need to consider all the parts and how they work in conjunction. Then start making changes and testing out each one at a time. Before long, you'll have made a difference in each element, and the overall result should be a dramatic increase in your conversions. Now, there's a lot going on here to think about. You may have just watched this and felt like slap yourself in the head and said, "Geez, that's why I'm not selling anything." It's okay. It's okay. The key is this is a look at these different aspects that affect conversion and the ways you need to look at them, the ways you need to look at your value proposition. Okay, look at your prospect awareness, just to determine who is my prospect. How are they aware of the things I'm looking at? Am I selling a product that they know? Am I selling one that they've never even heard of and never will buy and never want? You've got to figure these things out. So, just regardless, you need to take each of these considerations into effect. Start working on each one. Like I said, you can't do them all at once, but move through this list of pieces and look at your product, look at your sales page, look at your value proposition. Look at possible inhibitors, okay? Put those trust and anxiety pieces in place. It's too easy to go sign up for Honesty Online and put that little logo on your site. Boom, done. And I'll tell you there's another little aside with Honesty Online. You sign up for one of those accounts, okay? Say you've got 100 products. Say you have 10 products. You can use that single account for all of your products. That's fine. It's not a single-use thing. Keep that one in mind. So, at the end of the day, as you've worked with everything, you will find you've steadily improved your overall conversions. So thank you for listening to the website Conversion Demystified. I hope that this has been a help. I hope that this has given you a little different look at the way you can work with the different pieces of your site, the different elements. I hope that once you step back and you look at your site, you're going to see, whoa, all right. Well, my site was converting, but criminy, I don't have a good. What's my prospect awareness? Or what's my value proposition here? You need to look at all these things. Make sure each one of these pieces is fine-tuned. Okay. Make sure that your copy speaks to each one correctly. Make sure that that your catalysts, those things that can tip the site for you, are in place, and make sure that your action incentives are clear, easy to see, listed neatly. And then check the inhibitors, check the trust and anxiety things, work through each piece to make sure that at the end of the day, if you work with all of this, your site will convert better than ever before. Thank you.